Why are most magicians men? Magician clubs used to bar women. Members were men only until recently. HTTPS. Because women know there are easier ways to get laid? Keep in mind that in the classic magic acts, the female assistants are often extremely good magicians themselves. They are as much a part of the act with their own sleight of hand and contortionist skills as the man headlining the show. In a way, their apparent subservient roles are themselves a feint that lulls the audience into taking for the tricks. Maybe because their pants have better pockets for hiding birds? Show business, including stage shows, have been pretty male-dominated for a while, even banning women from performing for a period and having men wear wigs. It's also not really a hobby I see a lot of women interested in. That might be socialized or just a choice. And finally, there are actually a lot of women magicians. All the assistants and helpers and such are magicians. But by placing them in a traditional subservient role, lots of people don't realize that. So they don't pay attention when she swaps a prop around or hides something in the frills of her costume. Being unseen while on stage is something women do better, because everyone has that socialized reaction. Small hands, no sleeves or pockets. I think magic attracts lonely introverts and gives them a vehicle to stand out, one they can learn in private and get some kind of attention from when the magic is performed in public. Being a magician is a risky career choice and men are more likely to take risks. I'm sure there has something to do with it. The top X of magicians can make bank, but ultimately it's the type of gig-based work where for most people working in the field, it's uncertain if or when you'll be able to get your next paycheck. Once you do get that next gig, pay is usually low, and since you are self-employed, the burden of tax, vehicle maintenance to commute to gigs, and health insurance are high. Also, there's the fact that audiences apparently perceive women as being worse magicians even when they are performing the same tricks as a man. https://sbb.psychopan.uindex.php/sbbarticleview 2579. Generally, when people perceive something as lower quality, they are less likely to pay for it. So we can extrapolate that women are less likely to make it to that upper echelon of magicians who can actually live on their earnings. So for women, the risk of never making a living off of magic is even greater than for men, and therefore the potential ROI is lower. This dynamic creates a feedback loop where women continue to avoid the risk associated with dedicating time that won't pay off to magic. Not sure, but Amy Kimlet, who is a magician and married to a magician, has noticed this too, and wrote a book to try to normalize being interested in magic for young girls. Hocus Pocus, Practice and Focus. Maybe she is onto something, and it's just that if a young girl shows an interest in magic, it isn't nurtured the way it is for young boys. For some societal reasons. Because women don't have to resort to such measures to get laid. They burned all the women magicians. Here's an article about it. https. Being a magician and a witch are two different things. Poorly out of my ass, my guess is to woo women. Magicians are entertainers. Witchcraft is a belief system, so they are not comparable. As for why, I don't often see young girls interested in learning magic tricks, so I suppose few women pick up a passion for it enough to become professionals. As far as hobby entertainment magicians go, like Copperfield, Blaine, etc., I think it's just something that seems to interest men to much higher degree for some reason. It would be really interesting to see that studied for a reason, and miss the weak argument about witch hunts. We're talking about the modern developed world for the last 100-200 years. As far as people actually believing they have actual magical powers, I've literally never met a guy that believed he was a wizard with magical powers. But I can't count the number of women I've met in life who believe they are actual witches capable of casting spells and enchantments. Because it's pretty dorky to be into magic. Only speculating. It might the same reason why most of the esoteric gurus, astrologers, yogis, and other spiritual types of people are men too, because women make up most of the audience. And there are reasons for that too. The historic divide between the male spheres of science and medicine church vs the female sphere of the home, healers, witches, and midwives. And the locus of control that women historically feel to be outside of themselves, as their lives were controlled by someone else, men, so they found refuge in esoterics to gain back some of the control. Female magicians are called witches and girls are witchy if you pay attention. Easier to grow a silly mustache.